accumulating student loans, living with student loans, and paying off student loans are all things I'm actually pretty familiar with. And in this video today, I'm going to sit down and discuss with you a step-by-step guide of how to pay off your student loans, starting from graduation and going all the way up until balance due zero. Now, if you actually have any interest in our personal journey through a lot of this hot mess, go ahead and check out this video right here. Now, I'm 40, I'm an elder millennial. When I graduated college was 2005, and we're gonna get into interest rates in a minute, but when I graduated 2005, I had $21,000 of credit card debt and $20,000 of student loans. And within 3 years, by the time I was 25 years old, I have them completely paid off. But that's actually not what we're here to sit down and discuss and talk about today. Actually, much more importantly, my wife and I agreed. We are on the same page financially. We agreed, and we went into $168,000 worth of medical student loans between 2016, 2017, 2018, and then we started paying them off in 2019, 2020, and then we had them completely paid off by 2021. So I've paid off student loans twice, y'all. So how do we do it? Well, here is the step-by-step guide. Step number 1, you need to first research and decide on which repayment plan most aligns with what you're trying to accomplish. And then step 2, you need to actually do the refinance. You need to do the paperwork. And then step 3, you need to live below your means and make extra payments. That's it. Now, how fast you're able to pay off your student loans and still enjoy your pursuit of happiness is entirely up to you, your chosen career, and obviously how much money you make minus how much money you spend and what you're gonna end up doing with the difference, right? All right, so let's start with step number 1, research and decide on your repayment plan. So research, this first starts with, do you consolidate or do you refinance? A consolidation, real quick, it's a one-time deal with the federal government. I would say if you do not have a great credit score, that's a really good option for you. If you have a good credit score, I would say refinancing is probably a good option for you. They're gonna pull your credit, they're gonna ding your credit. If you've got a good credit score, you're probably gonna get a pretty fair and good interest rate, relatively speaking, to the interest rate environment that we're in right now, obviously, right? So that would be refinancing. You want to take all of these, I'm going to put this on the screen here. We had multiple interest rates. Now, obviously, your interest rate is going to be different than what you're seeing on the screen here, but you're going to have multiple interest rates that vary from, one to another. We refinanced all of them to one interest rate with one loan with SoFi, and that's kind of what happened for us, right? So that will be refinancing and consolidating. Now, real quick though, quick tip. You typically have 6 months worth of a grace period. So before you refinance, one tip, one idea would be, if your new income after you graduated and got a job, right? Or after you're doing this, your new income, if you can afford to pay off a credit card in full, pay off a car in full, if you could do something to improve your credit score, maybe consider doing that before refinancing your student loans, right? So you got a 6-month window. If you can get employment and you get started right away, that's actually not a bad idea, because if you got a really big, sizable chunk of student loans, man, a 0.5% or whole percent interest rate, that really does matter, and it can really save you. So consider doing that if you are watching this video at the right time of your life, right? Now, here's the bottom line. Let me just jump ahead of the end here. Do not do what we did. We are weird. We are crazy people when it comes to our finances. We refinanced to a 5-year adjustable rate student loan. Do not do that. If I were you, I would go with a 5, 10, or 15-year fixed rate loan, right? Now, why did we decide to do that? Well, it was on purpose. We wanted to handcuff our debt to income ratio, right? We wanted to force ourselves to not be able to buy real estate. And it worked. It worked. Now, many people can second guess whether that was a smart decision or bad decision. And I'm here today to take a little bit of ownership and to swallow my pride and to say, I wonder how much better off we would have done. But we did actually dabble in a little bit of real estate during this time period. So I'll remind my wife about that, and I'll remind her we did pretty good on that property as well. So at the end of the day, you need to decide based on your research, based on what the 5, 10, 15-year fixed monthly payment, what that means to your budget, that's part of your research. And you need to research your heart, your head. You need to ask yourself, how quickly do you want to pay these off? Do you want to be crazy like Kyle, and do you want to pay them off as fast as possible? Or do you want to maybe be smarter than Kyle and pay them off slowly, and then invest the money somewhere else. That is entirely up to you, right? But you need to find out what motivates you. We weren't motivated by building up a large brokerage account, or, we weren't motivated by real estate at the time. We didn't even have, at the time of doing this, we didn't even have money to scrape together to even buy real estate. So that's what also made this decision a little bit easier for us. So at the end of the day, everyone's a little bit weird in some area of their life. We're weird with our finances, and paying off this low interest debt was something that I don't regret, but I do need to take a little bit of ownership and personal responsibility and say, in hindsight, I wonder if maybe we would have a larger net worth right now. However, who cares? Who cares? Because now we have a great debt to income ratio, and because we paid off the loans and because we have no payments except for our mortgage, we're doing fine. So we're going to make it. We're going to be doing just fine. All right. So you decide what's in it for you. Now, part of your refinancing process, part of your decision and research process, also, there's a small subset of people. We're going to talk for a moment about student loan forgiveness, student loan cancellation. There maybe is a small subset of people that might find this video that maybe you earn under a small amount of income, or you are serving an underserved area. That's probably more realistically probably what it is, right? You're in an occupation, or you are serving an occupation in an underserved area for your occupation, and because of that, you're going to probably work there for 10 years, and then you're going to get it forgiven, right? That's got to be part of your process as well. For most of these, though, it's a pretty long 10-year commitment. And I think even if there is some student loans that do get forgiven, in many cases, I do believe that you actually might have to pay income taxes on the remaining amount that is forgiven. Still a good deal, but you got to make a real long 10-year commitment in your life typically. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything else that I'm not really thinking about that student loan forgiveness, occupation, underserved area, right? All right, step 2. Refinancing. This is super easy, guys. We're gonna blow through this. This is the easy part. This is just paperwork. However, in this paperwork process, I will say this. Here's a little tip. So I wanted to mention this. When you go to set up your payments with SoFi, which is who we did it through, or whoever you decide to go through, when you go to do that, I believe you should do automatic payments, automatically drafted, because number one, it'll happen automatically, and when you automate your life, it becomes easier, and you build up that habit much easier as well. And more importantly, you should get a discount on the interest rate. When we did this, they were offering a discount if we were to set up automatic EFT payments every month. So I would strongly recommend that as well, right? Okay, so number 3, this is gonna be the hardest one and the longest one of all of these, and that is simply living below your means and making extra payments. Now, there are some people out there that might be watching this video that have the money, number 1, and have the risk tolerance, number 2, to go out and maybe acquire a piece of real estate, hold it for a few months or a year, flip it and sell it. Maybe there are some people that have that skill set, or maybe there are some people watching this video that are able to take money, invest it in the stock market for 1, 2, or 3 years and make it grow. Maybe there are people that are like that, but there are few and far between that can. And so I would say most people, the only way you're gonna pay off your student loans is if you pay extra on them, or just commit to paying all that interest for the full term of the loan and just take whatever money you thought you should throw extra at the student loans and invest that, or save it and buy some real estate. Don't save it and go on a trip to Hawaii. Don't save it and then buy a $100,000, $200,000 car. That's silly, right? If you're gonna pay the minimum and make that commitment, you need to also make a commitment to investing the rest of your money in some capacity. Just make a commitment to yourself and be responsible and do that. So, all right. And then the last thing, I wasn't going to get into this, but I just have to say, most people take a long time to get out of student loans. And we are very fortunate and blessed that the intentions that we took led us to where we were. It was on purpose, y'all. The sacrifice, we knew it was on purpose. If you fell into a student loan position to where you're trying to crawl and climb your way out of it, my heart goes out to you, and I just have to tell you, try to budget in some fun. It's gonna take you a long process. If your income is too low and your student loan payment is too high and that threshold is very, very short for you, then find other areas of your life to find happiness. Find other areas of your life that you can find fulfillment and contentment with, because it's gonna be a long, arduous process to pay off your student loan. loans. And I'm here today to encourage you to say you can do it, but it will take some time, and mentally and spiritually, you do need to be prepared for that. So if it's going to be a long time, buckle up, Buttercup, okay? All right, sorry to go on that long rant there. I appreciate your time. I will see you tomorrow.